As a kid, all a nigga wanna have was a Burberry scarf and $3 in my pocket. Instead I got beat with a switch, but I don't give a fuck, but it's on my body. Scars all up on me, but I run around from everybody. Life lesson learned, I better learn from this bitch, nobody. She pushed me around, she didn't give no motherfucks about it. She broke my heart 3 times, but I ain't getting...
The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be traveling on the road to Jerry's World to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they defeated the Baltimore Ravens 28-24. They moved to 7-0 on the year. They are the only remaining undefeated team left in the NFL. And they're facing the Dallas Cowboys team that right now is on the ropes. Like, for the Dallas Cowboys, this is a must-win game. Because if they lose this game, I feel like their season is pretty much done. Like, Dallas is like in a 5-round fight right now. And right now, they're in round 2. And all they really need is somebody to come in and deliver the finishing blow. And it's pretty much the end of the fight. That's what Dallas is right now. Dallas lost to Philadelphia 23-9 on Sunday Night Football last week. And that was one of the worst Sunday Night Football games I ever watched. Okay, sloppy offenses, terrible defense, turnovers galore. I mean, that was just an awful Sunday Night Football game. I really cannot believe they chose to put that game on Sunday Night Football instead of the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. I will never get over that. So, for the Dallas Cowboys, they have been the biggest disappointment in the NFL. Mark McCarthy looks like he pretty much could go one and done. Now, his job isn't really up for debate right now. According to Jerry Jones, they're still sticking through with Mike McCarthy. But, I mean, this Dallas Cowboys team is awful. And I never thought that there would be a coach who could underachieve more than Jason Garrett. Well, Mark McCarthy just made Jason Garrett look like he was a god. Okay, because Mike McCarthy, the way this Dallas Cowboys team is this season, it's an absolute mess. And I was wrong about the Dallas Cowboys. You see, I thought going in that the Dallas Cowboys would be able to go 10-6. And even with that Prescott getting injured, they still have so much talent on this team. Like, they still have a lot of talent on defense, still have a lot of talent on offense. You have one of the best receiving corps in the NFL. I know you've had some injuries to the offensive line, but you still have a pretty decent offensive line. And you have Ezekiel Elliott, one of the best halfbacks in the NFL. Like, how can you possibly be this bad with this amount of talent on the team? Even with injuries, you still have a roster that's better than half the majority of the teams in the NFL. Like, this team is bad, man. Really bad. And what's even more bad is that they're facing the best defense in the NFL. A defense that forced Lamar Jackson to turn the football over 4 times. And they're going to be starting a new quarterback. DiNucci is not going to be getting started in this game. It's going to be a quarterback battle between Cooper Rush and Garrett Gilbert this week to decide who's going to be the starting quarterback heading into this game. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't know anything about Cooper Rush. I only know a little bit about Garrett Gilbert. I know that he was on Cleveland. I really know him for his time when he was playing for the Alliance of American Football League, the AAF. For those of you guys who don't know what the Alliance of American Football League was, it basically was like a league like the XFL, but it came the year before the XFL. What was it? 2019, I believe. Yeah, it came in 2019. Garrett Gilbert was basically the MVP of the league. The league ended up going bankrupt in like the first couple of weeks. Garrett Gilbert got picked up by the Cleveland Browns. He was their backup quarterback. And that's all I really know about Garrett Gilbert. I don't really know anything about Cooper Rush. So, I mean, their quarterback situation is not good. You do not want to go in a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers with the quarterback situation the way that it is for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay? Then on top of that, can Dallas get the run game going? Ezekiel Elliott is obviously the best player they have on offense, and he's underperformed. Like, your team, you know your team is bad when even your best player is underperforming. Okay? And the Dallas Cowboys defense has been a complete disaster. Like, their linebacker, they have one of the best linebacking corps in the NFL. I know they had a couple of injuries, but still. I mean, where has DeMarcus Lawrence been? He's one of the highest paid pass rushers in the NFL, and I barely hear his name called. Is he even playing for the Dallas Cowboys? Is he even healthy? Like, I don't see, not seen him on the injury report, but he might as well be, because he hasn't did anything all season. Then the secondary for Dallas has been up and down. Like, this Dallas Cowboys team, man, they got a lot of problems. So if you're a Steelers fan, what are you looking for in the Steelers team? Now, for me, I'm a little bit skeptical in this game. Now, I know Pittsburgh's a 13.5-point favorite, but I'm still wondering if we're going to see the old Pittsburgh Steelers teams from the past reemerge and show themselves. And what I mean by those old Steelers teams, I mean those old Steelers teams that ended up losing the teams that they have no business losing to. So, as a Steelers fan, me personally, I want to see the Pittsburgh Steelers come in this game and dominate and crush the Dallas Cowboys. I want to see a blowout. I need to see a blowout. And if the Dallas Cowboys want to win this game, this is what they have to do. First of all, your offensive line is going to have to play the best game that they've played all season. And you're going to have Ezekiel Elliott going. Ezekiel Elliott's going to have a monster game. He's going to have like a Dalvin Cook-like performance, like how Dalvin Cook carried the Minnesota Vikings offense on his back last week against Green Bay. Ezekiel Elliott's going to have to do that and then some. Ezekiel Elliott is going to have to at least have 30 carries in this game. He's going to have to go for over 100 yards, and he's going to have 3 touchdowns. And Dallas also is going to have to be able to convert on third down. They're going to have to control time possession, tear out Pittsburgh's defense, and keep Pittsburgh's offense off the field. Because with the way that Dallas's defense has played, their defense needs as much rest as they can get. So keep your defense on the sideline and make sure that you can keep Pittsburgh's defense on the field, tire them out, get them fatigued. Okay? The next thing that you have to do if you're Dallas, if you want to win this game, you have to be able to take care of the football. You cannot afford to turn the football over against the Pittsburgh Steelers, because that was a big reason why the Steelers defeated the Ravens last week. You can make the argument and say that the Baltimore Ravens outplayed Pittsburgh last week, which I won't disagree with you. But Baltimore turned the ball over 4 times, and Pittsburgh had 14 points off those turnovers. So if you give Pittsburgh the ball back, they're going to make you pay. And the way your defense has performed, I don't think your defense is going to be able to pull a Baltimore, because even though Baltimore caught the ball up, their defense was able to keep Pittsburgh's offense at bay. So, I mean, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, don't turn the football over, and you need Ezekiel Elliott to have a big day on the ground. You also have to be really good on third down. Now, for the Dallas Cowboys, you need to replicate the same game plan that the Baltimore Ravens had last week. Now, the Ravens defense played absolutely phenomenal against the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Like, even though the Ravens turned the ball over a lot, their defense was able to bail out their Ravens offense on a couple of possessions. Because there was a couple of possessions that Pittsburgh got the ball back, they weren't able to do anything with it. So if you are the Dallas Cowboys, you need to force the Steelers to throw the football downfield, which is something that the Steelers can do. But the Steelers, for the majority of this season, they like to dink and dunk. Well, I won't really call it dink and dunk. They like to throw the ball, get the ball out quick to their wide receivers, and let the wide receivers do the rest with the ball in their hands. So if you're Dallas, you need to force Ben Roethlisberger to hang on to the ball, force Pittsburgh to throw the football downfield. Because if you allow Big Ben to get the ball out quick to these wide receivers are going to do a lot of damage, and all these wide receivers are a threat to take it to the house anytime they get the ball in their hands. Okay? And the last thing Dallas has to be able to do is they have to be able to get off the field on third down. That's something that Baltimore did incredibly well last week against Pittsburgh. I think Baltimore's defense held Pittsburgh to 3 or 9 on third down, I believe. That was one of the worst games that Pittsburgh has ever had this season so far when it comes to not being able to convert on third down. So if you're Dallas, here's what you need to be able to do. You need to be able to get Ezekiel Elliott going. Ezekiel Elliott needs 30 touches in this game. He needs well over 100 yards, and he needs 3 touchdowns. He needs to carry this offense. The second thing is that you need to be able to convert on third down to keep the drive alive, because if you're able to convert on third down, you're going to be able to control time possession, keep your defense off the field, keep Pittsburgh's defense on the field, and tire them out. Third thing you have to be able to do is you have to make sure that you don't turn the football over at all, because if you do, Pittsburgh is going to make you pay, especially with the way that your defense has played so far this season. You don't have a defense like Baltimore that's going to be able to bail you out. And for the Steelers, they need to make sure that they don't underestimate this team and end up losing like how they have a tendency of doing in the past, losing to teams they have no business losing to. So, without a doubt, the team that I'm taking to win this game, we already know I'm taking Pittsburgh to win this game. I think Pittsburgh wins this game 35 to 10 is my final score prediction in this game. I don't think Dallas is going to be able to get anything going. I think it's going to be a long afternoon. You got Cooper Rush or Garrett Gilbert. Either one of those guys is going to be starting at quarterback. They're going to be in for a rude awakening because nobody wants to start against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, especially when you don't have that long to prepare, really. So the Dallas Cowboys are playing rush roulette at quarterback. You're going to have guys like Cooper Kupp and Garrett Gilbert who don't really have a lot of experience starting games in the NFL, going against one of the best defenses in the NFL, especially a team that likes to blitz as much as Pittsburgh does. It's going to be a long afternoon for Dallas. And if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, I advise you not to even watch this game. If I'm the NFL, I'm putting a rated R warning sign before this game begins. I'm going to say, caution, rated R, this game may not be watchable for Dallas Cowboy viewers and kids that's under the age of 13 because this thing is going to get ugly, and it should get ugly pretty fast and pretty quickly. So I'm taking Pittsburgh to get the victory, and I'm taking Pittsburgh to cover.